Hello, my name is Stan. I am a theatre director and sometimes I'm an actor, and I also run workshops about drama and acting for people of all ages.
Hello, my name is Danielle Slade and I am a children's writer and playwright, and I am also a creative writing facilitator. I work also for Mortal Fools and I wrote their Melva programme and the story and characters of Melva, if you have heard of that.
A director works with the actors and the writer and all the people backstage, and works with them and leads them all to help create the play or the TV series or the movie or whatever it is that you might be making. I think some people think that being a director is a bossy job, that you stand around and order everyone about. But actually, I think the best directors are the ones that listen to everyone. They take everyone's advice and ideas, and then they make the decisions about how to create what it is that you are wanting to create.
I started off doing GCSE Performing Arts, which I really loved, and that gave me a great introduction to the world of theatre. So I enjoyed acting, I enjoyed directing, and I enjoyed writing and teaching everything about theatre. Then I went on to university and I studied drama and script writing at university. And that then helped me really understand the world of writing scripts, and that made me really love writing for children and young people. And also I got the experience of being able to facilitate young people and teach young people about theatre and about creative writing.
I went to school and I did my A-levels when I was 17, 18 is when you take them. And then I auditioned to go to drama school. So I went to a drama school in London called LAMDA, and I had to prepare a couple of speeches from 2 different plays. And then I went up and down to London a couple of times through a couple of rounds of auditions before I got in. Apart from being in the school plays, which I really enjoyed, I also did a drama club on Saturday mornings, and that was fun. And then when I got a little bit older, about 15, myself and a group of friends, we would find plays that we really liked and we would put them on. And so we would go and ask the local theatres, and we'd ask our school and say, can we put on our play for you, just for our family and friends? And this was brilliant because it was really fun, but also I got to just get up and give something a go and just try, which I think is the best way to learn, just by giving something a go.
After I finished uni, my very first job within the theatre industry was on box office. So I used to sell tickets, and I was also an usher. So I got to show people to their seats and sell ice cream and popcorn. What was brilliant about those first jobs was that I got to meet lots of people in the industry, and I got to make lots of connections, and I got to watch lots of shows, which was great because I got to see what kind of stuff was available and out there and what I really wanted to do. Then that made me really be sure about children's theatre and about writing for children's theatre and teaching children's theatre.
My very first job was actually working in a clothes shop, and my job was to sell the clothes and fold them very neatly and present them. My first proper job in the arts was at a theatre called Northern Stage, and the job was to form a theatre company. And it was so exciting because I got to try loads of different things in this job. And I always knew that I liked acting, but I didn't know about all the other different types of jobs that you can do when you work in theatre, or when you work in the arts, or when you work in a creative place. So I got to try some writing and directing and producing, and I got to design the posters and build the set, and I got to see all these different types of exciting jobs that you can do. And I realized that even though I like acting, I think I really liked all the other things that go into creating something. I liked those things even more.
My favourite thing about my job is that every day is different. I never get bored. And also, because I am self-employed, which means I work for myself and do lots of work for lots of different places, like I've mentioned, it means that I can control what I do. So I get to pick all the jobs that I want to do. If somebody rings me up and says, would you like to run this session or teach this? I can say, I don't have a lot of time, or maybe I don't really like the sound of it. So I can say no to that. But then if I find something really exciting for a theatre or for a school, then I can do it. So that's my favourite thing about the job that I do. My least favourite thing is that sometimes it can get a little bit lonely. I do spend a lot of time working in my room on my computer, writing stuff by myself. And I do spend a lot of time sitting emailing on my phone. Because I don't have a team of people around me all of the time, it can get a little bit lonely. So when I do get to go into schools and when I do get to go to meetings, it does make it a bit more fun because I get to see people and get to bounce off the energy of other people.
My favourite part of my job is getting to create new stories. I love telling stories. I love making people laugh. I love working with actors to create new characters. The least favourite part of my job is probably that I have to write lots and lots of applications in order to get the money to make the shows. Now this can be quite boring and takes a long time. But I have to remember that it's really worth it when I do eventually get the money to make the show.
A day in the life of my job, it is very, very different every day. I could wake up one morning and I could have lots of meetings around plays that I might be writing or work that I might be researching or doing. I could wake up one day and I could have a full day of writing a play. I could wake up another day and I could be in rehearsals all day, watching a play that I've written, watching the director and the actors put it together. I could wake up another day and I might be working in a school teaching creative writing. I might be working at a theatre teaching more creative writing things. Or I might be at a community centre or somewhere in the community, a different space, a church, anywhere. Again, teaching lots of creative writing things. So every single day is really, really different in the work that I do, but it keeps it very, very exciting. You do have to work hard to get the ambition and get the motivation because you're doing a lot of these things yourself, but it is very, very exciting and it keeps it new and fresh.
My day is always different, but I'm going to talk you through a day in rehearsals when I'm rehearsing a play. So we'll rehearse sometimes in a theatre, or maybe we'll go somewhere like your school hall to rehearse. And the first thing that we do is that we warm up our bodies and our voices, and we'll stretch a lot, and we'll sing. It's very important to warm up so that we can work hard, but also so that we don't injure ourselves. We then do my favourite part of the day, which is we play loads and loads of games. Because our job is really creative, so you have to warm up your brain by playing games and being silly. This is my favourite game. It's called Foursquare. Next, we will grab our scripts and rehearse with the actors. We often read one scene at a time, and then we will have a big conversation and we'll ask lots of questions and think about what is happening in the story and maybe how our characters feel. We then get up on our feet and then we work out where the actors are going to stand on the stage, and we call that blocking. And then we'll rehearse it several times, and I might give some suggestions about how we can improve it. If there's songs in the show, then we'll maybe sing them, or if there are puppets in the show, then we will work with the puppets. That's a normal day for me.
tips for anybody that wants to work in the creative writing industry or the theatre industry would be to firstly make lots of connections, meet lots of people and chat to lots of people. Go and see theatre or read lots of books and find out what you are really interested in, and then find out about all of the jobs in creative writing or in theatre. See where you really, really want to be. If you're a storyteller, maybe it is that you want to tell stories and write plays like I do. Maybe you want to be a director. Start chatting to directors. There are lots of people out there that will help you and be really, really keen to help you. Another thing is that don't be afraid to ask for help and don't be afraid to ask for advice. If you really think that you want to be a playwright, you find playwrights. Look on websites, start emailing people and ask questions. Ask what they did. Ask if they can help you. Lots and lots of people will be really willing to help you. So it's about being bold and brave. The second thing that I would say is if you want to write what you know and write what you are really, really passionate about. So for me, I write all about mental health and well-being through lots of crazy, wonderful characters and wonderful stories and journeys. And I write for children and young people. And because I'm really passionate about that and I understand that and I know all about that, then it makes me feel really strong and brave in the work that I do. So if you find something that you really, really know about, nobody can tell you otherwise. So if you say love horses and you know all about horses and you want to write stories about horses, you are the number one expert at that. So it's about not having imposter syndrome and really believing in yourself and the work that you want to do and create.
Come up with loads and loads of stories. Loads of different types of stories. Sad stories, funny stories, happy stories, scary stories. And then when you've got loads of stories, share them with people. Write them down or perform them or tell people your stories or draw your stories. Just make sure that you share them far and wide. I'd also say give everything a try. Even if it sounds a bit hard or that it might make you feel a bit nervous or anxious, there'll be some things that you try that you like, and then there'll be some things that you try that you just don't like, and that's fine. But I promise you will never, ever, ever regret giving something a go.